As the last major city south of the Mason-Dixon line, Baltimore has historically been considered as a bridge between the North and the South. It also embodies some of the country's main social and racial issues. ROBBYN Lewis is the Maryland state delegate for Baltimore's 46th district, a neighborhood once racially segregated. Today, blacks and whites live side by side, but discrimination is still very much alive.
Baltimore was right on the edge. During the Civil War, it was smack in the middle. All that history still affects everyone here today.
Yeah. We're on the boundary between an all-white neighborhood and an all-black neighborhood. And it was the red lines that define that historically, and it continues. There were requirements in law that said if you want to sell your house, you cannot sell it to a Jewish person or a black person. Right. They're called covenants. Yep. They're like, yep. I'm telling you, welcome to America.
Like Cleveland or Ferguson, Baltimore has often been stigmatized. It's notorious for its significantly high crime rate. Donald Trump repeatedly attacked the city during his time in office, referring to Baltimore as the worst in the nation and a disaster. For ROBBYN Lewis, the new administration will have to bridge the social and racial divides stoked by Donald Trump over the past 4 years.
This is what I want to hear Joe Biden say. I see you. I know what happened to you. And I am here to listen to your ideas for solutions. When you're in public office, your duty is to get the basics right. If you're sending a computer on wheels to Mars and your people don't have safe places to live and the children are being poisoned with lead and the jails are full and the libraries are empty, you need to fix that.
While Maryland does not have a high incarceration rate relative to the national average, the share of African Americans in the state's prison system is the highest in the country, mostly young black men who don't have the means to get a fair day in court.
After you cut those couple sticks, just blow that slab of cement off for me. Appreciate you.
Project Serve is helping former convicts return and adjust to their communities once they're released. For 4 to 6 months, participants in the program work on community revitalization projects. 31-year-old TRAVOR Artes is on his second stint in prison, but after 4.5 years behind bars, he's focused on not being sent back.
People like me and a couple of these other gentlemen that's just coming home, a lot of people not giving us opportunities, and this program giving us a lot of opportunities, to show that we can do something better with our lives. A lot of people need help right now, and there's not a lot of things out here that's helping, people out. And
Cindy Covington was once a participant in the program and now helps others. With Joe Biden in the White House, she's hoping the federal government will support and expand these types of programs across the country.
President Biden, first of all, I will ask for a chance. Everybody to get a fair chance at a fresh start. And prison is not always the answer for us for the younger crew, because they really want that guidance. So if we can expand this program, get more funding.
During the presidential campaign, Joe Biden put forward a sweeping criminal justice reform plan, but the African American community is cautiously optimistic about that promise, remembering Biden's push for a crime bill signed in 1994, widely seen as a major driver of mass incarceration. Christian HANLEY, a political consultant, studied at Howard University, one of the 107 historically black colleges and universities known as HBCUs. He believes the country is at a crossroads.
Right now what we're seeing nationally is a sort of reconciliation in our politics and in terms of race relations in this country. Of course, this huge contrast between the multiracial coalition built during the Obama administration and beyond, and in contrast to that, the Trump years, which are marked by overt white supremacy. And in Baltimore, you have sort of a laboratory where you have a microcosm of all these different historical, ethnic, and racial factors coming together all at once at a time where the United States, American society, and politics really has to look at itself in the mirror and decide who it wants to be going forward.
Public health is another major issue which was brought back into the spotlight by the pandemic. With more than 35,000 cases, Baltimore has been hit hard by COVID-19. Neil Naff, a neurosurgeon, belongs to the whiter and wealthier part of Baltimore. We met him at his home because his hospital doesn't allow any visitors. He believes fighting the pandemic should be the #1 priority of the new administration.
The care of COVID patients limits the amount of beds that are available in the hospital. And so, like in other countries, we've had to limit the amount of some surgeries that we can do. My biggest expectation for this administration is that President Biden is going to wear a mask. That simple thing. He's going to set an example for the rest of the country. Him wearing a mask is going to be part of a well-run response, a federalized response.
Like many of the more than 81 million Americans who voted for Joe Biden, Robin Lewis believes the country can be united again, and so can Baltimore.
This used to be my district. You just see the transition of neighborhoods changing. It's a good thing.
The Biden administration now has less than 2 years to bring about major social reforms before the next midterm elections are held in November 2022.